Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Captain Nemo, Owen Lee is live. World War III is upon us. And most importantly, Tony Hinchecliffe is teaming up with WrestleMania. Now, I'm not a WWE guy, but I am a Tony Hinchecliffe guy. We've got a lot of news to get to, but I thought we would start with a bit of brevity. Comedian Tony Hinchecliffe and WWE announced on Monday that a special edition of the popular comedy podcast Kill Tony will take place during WrestleMania 42 week in Las Vegas. The event, titled Kill Tony WrestleMania, is scheduled for Saturday, April 18, 9 p.m. at the Dolby Live at Park MGM, with tickets going on sale today, March 24th at 1 p.m. Eastern Time via Ticketmaster. All of our favorite place to buy tickets at Ticketmaster. Oh boy, oh boy. The show will kick off after the conclusion of one night of WrestleMania 42 at Allegiant Stadium, giving fans time to make their way across Las Vegas to Dolby Live. According to WWE's press release, the event will feature a mix of WWE superstars and WWE legends, established comedians, and surprise celebrity guests, while blending rapid-fire stand-up sets from aspiring comedians with sharp and often brutal feedback from Hinchecliffe and his panel of guests. A limited number of VIP upgrade meet and greets, blah, blah, blah. No one cares about that. So, Tony Hinchecliffe and the WWE putting up something together. I can see it now. Hinchecliffe getting body slammed. I don't know. I think this is the second time they've tried to pair up. The first time something fell through. I don't remember what happened precisely. But it's sort of a strange crossover to me. I'm a UFC fan, not a WWE guy, but I'd imagine Tony will have a lot to say. But when you've got guys, I wonder if he'll be part of the show. That's kind of what I want to know. And it better be streamed for free on YouTube. Don't be pulling any of this Netflix nonsense. It better still be on YouTube for the OG fans. So we'll see what happens with Hinchecliffe and WWE coming together for an event. I really don't even know what to expect with that one. I don't know what to expect. We could have a panel of Rogan. We could have maybe Matt Rifle show up again. He's been on the show several times. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to go on with that one. We'll move on to our second news topic of the day, which is World War III. I kind of told myself I didn't want to be a doom and gloom guy, but maybe we can make light of. All right, so maybe making light of situations is going to be very difficult, but we'll give it a try. I don't want to be the news. I don't want to be involved with politics, but here we are nonetheless. World War III is upon us. Iran's retaliatory strikes have reverberated across Israel and the Gulf Arab states, with missiles and drones fired into several countries, including regional U.S. bases. The strikes have begun, and it is in 4K. It is a crazy thing to see the war in high definition. I mean, what am I even looking at here? This is crazy. I want to make sure that my aspect is good here. Is my aspect ratio? Okay, so it's like about... okay, so I have like half the page. Sorry about that. Making sure the stream goes smoothly. These are some wild photographs. There's a hole in Tel Aviv, of course, Israel firing their own missiles previous to this, as indicated by this article. These are retaliatory strikes, but man, the carnage. This is where your tax dollars are going, folks. World War III, we're getting involved. I'm stoked about that. I'm stoked that we haven't learned anything from the last 20 years we spent in Iraq and Afghanistan. I'm very excited for high tax dollars to contribute to probably both sides of this war. Nothing gets me up in the morning like a war in the Middle East. And here are some more devastating photos of the carnage in Tel Aviv. I believe we have some photos of Iran as well, where the carnage is no good. So this is the Tel Aviv. strikes. I mean, just insane. Wild. Iran hit by strikes. Reuters. I don't know if it's EU or UE. Don't judge me. Tel Aviv hit. Iran war live. Tel Aviv hit. Yeah, so these are some of our strikes here. I mean, just absolutely devastating. I don't even know what to say about that. I'll get you up in the morning. UK confirms Iran fired 2 missiles at Diego Garcia base. If there's one way to get Americans involved, it's to say some missiles landed right by one of our beach resorts. If there's one way to make Americans go to war, it's say, hey, that Hilton that you like to go to at the beach, it almost got hit. Iran launched 2 intermediate-range ballistic missiles at Diego Garcia, a joint U.S. and United Kingdom military base in the Indian Ocean, in what defense analysts are calling a dramatic demonstration of Tehran's missile capabilities far beyond its previously acknowledged range. Neither missiles struck the base, and no casualties were reported. But it's ending. Where's our Iron Dome for that one? I don't understand. The strike and its failure, the missiles were fired late Thursday into early Friday, March 2021, according to the Wall Street Journal, which first reported the incident, citing multiple U.S. officials. One missile failed during flight while the other was engaged by a U.S. Navy destroyer using a standard Missile-3 interceptor. So we do have the dome. The dome is active. UK Defense Secretary John Healey confirmed the details to Parliament on Monday morning, stating, one fell short of its target, the other was brought down short of its target. Neither got close to Diego Garcia. Darn straight. America in the morning. We shoot down the missiles. I'm so excited that our tax dollars are going to... Pentagon to send 3,000 more troops to Middle East as Iran strikes top 9,000 targets. American forces have struck more than 9,000 military targets inside Iran since the launch of the Operation Epic Fury on February 28th. So started February 28th. U.S. Central Command announced on March 23rd. Underscoring the scale of what has become one of the largest sustained aerial campaigns in U.S. military history. The CENTCOM fact sheet covering the operation of the last 24 days also reported that more than 140 Iranian naval vessels damaged or destroyed and over 9,000 combat flights conducted. 9,000. Boy, you really can really pull one over on the American people. It's crazy. We were at war not too long ago. In my life, my phone keeps falling, pardon me. Not too long ago, we were at war. Documentaries are still coming out about the last war, and we were like, well, there's still more oil. The campaign, ordered by President Donald Trump and executed jointly with Israel, imagine my surprise. Going to war in the Middle East again with Israel. Has targeted command and control centers, IRCG headquarters, integrated air defense systems, ballistic missiles, anti-ship missile installations, and weapons production facilities, according to CENTCOM. I don't know what CENTCOM is. Fact sheet. The Pentagon is now preparing to send additional 3,000 troops to the region where U.S. already has 50,000 service members deployed, according to Politico. Well, folks, it is a matter of time until Pete Hegseth gets on the microphone and says, we believe they have weapons of mass destruction, and we've got to go to war to stop them. It's a matter of time until another tragedy is blamed on a group of people that may or may not have anything to do with it, and we send all of our children over there. I'm too old to recruit. Lucky me. Listen, I know there's a lot of killing, a lot of horrible, wretched things going on. But man, it just never ends. The cycle of turn and burn, it just keeps going, man. Like, it's never... I guess where evil persists, evil persists. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the best stream this side of Mississippi. That's it. Caden, welcome to the stream. Covering some news items, I meant to say. Before we move on to some video games. I think I had a couple more news items here, before we moved on to some more fun stuff. Welcome to the stream, Caden. Glad you're here. Delta, suspense. Speaking of going to war... Let's talk about Congress for a minute. The people that are going to be pushing for this war, some for and some... A lot of them are just for. It doesn't matter which side of the political aisle you fall. Delta suspends travel perks for members of Congress as partial shutdown continues. So no more favoritism for the elites. Sorry, boys. Giving you free stuff is very out. No to Congress is in. You're not above the rest of us. In fact, you should be servants of the people, by the people, for the people. You are to serve the people. And so you're going to sit and coach next to that fat, sweaty guy like the rest of us. You don't like it? Too bad. That's what you signed up for. You did not sign up to buy and sell inside of insider trading. So you could have the ins and outs of the stock market and know what's going to happen before it happens. You signed up to serve the people. So to serve the people, you're sitting next to Kathy, who weighs 450 pounds, and you have no room to breathe. You're going to squish between the window on one side and Kathy eating her KFC on the other. This is going to be you as a member of Congress, as you should be, mind you, as you should be. Well, anyways, I'm going to move on from that fun item. And we have, I'll save this one best for last, right? Webinar TV secretly records Zoom calls, turns them into AI podcasts. A company called Webinar TV has been scanning the internet for Zoom meeting links, secretly recording calls without participants' knowledge and converting them into AI-generated podcasts. According to a report published on Monday by 404 Media, the platform claims to host more than 200,000 quote-unquote webinars, many of which were recorded and posted without the consent of the people on the calls. This is the beginning of how AI enters the social realm. The report by journalist Emmanuel Melberg found that some meeting participants only learned their calls had been scraped after being contacted by 404 Media. In at least some cases, the stolen video call put call participants at risk, including a meeting intended to be private about protecting children from immigration enforcement. Webinar TV primarily infiltrates Zoom calls through third-party browser extensions, according to a detailed investigation by Cyber Alberta, a Canadian cybersecurity organization that discovered its own Zoom calls have been scraped. These extensions, including AI transcription tools and auto-join utilities, can access meeting links when users inadvertently grant calendar permissions, exposing invitations to the platform. At least one browser extension listed on the Chrome Web Store was published by a Webinar TV affiliated domain. Once inside a meeting, Webinar TV captures the section via screen recording rather than Zoom's built-in recording function, meaning participants receive no notification that they are being recorded. You thought your homework meeting on Zoom for your college class was private. You thought that getting in your jammies was enough to get your college credits, but little did you know that you in your jammies was recorded and there will create a AI podcast using your likeness and image. So if you see a podcast, you're scrolling on your phone and you're like, wait a minute, those look like my jammies. In fact, that looks a little bit like me. It's because it is you. AI scraped in the meeting. They've got your data. They don't care about you. Moving on to the next item. And last but not least. Oh, let me make sure that is my audio good? Oh, we're great. We're sounding great. PUBG Battlegrounds unveils 2026 roadmap with destructible terrain and co-op modes. This is something I have wanted for a long time. Everything should be destructible. I think there should be like a couple of places that are more difficult to get into, but introducing destructible terrain completely changes the game. It adds an aspect that should have been there all along. That's very exciting. I'm a big PUBG fan. A lot of people fell out of that game. I think it's a great game. It's people call it clunky, or it's old, it's dated. I love the game. It's the original. It feels good. The graphics do not feel good. The gameplay feels good. And now when you drop into Pochinki, some of those Pochinki buildings are going to Pochinki exist no longer, and you're going to be exposed. So that'll be fun. Crafted on March 22nd, released its 2026 development roadmap for PUBG Battlegrounds, laying out a year of sweeping changes to the long-running Battle Royales, maps, gunplay, rank system, and mode offerings, including a co-op heist mode built alongside Payday developer Starbreeze. Never heard of them. The roadmap centers on two priorities: evolving the core gameplay experience and expanding the game's live service through new content. Among the headline additions is the arrival of destructible terrain on Erangel, the franchise's flagship map, set for April. Crafton said the feature will let players reshape the battlefield by creating cover in open areas. Oh, geez. Now hang on a second, Crafton. Now hold it right there. Hold it right there. Creating cover in open areas. If PUBG, I bought this game before I had a computer that was able to run it. I was so faithful in the success of this game. I bought this game and waited years to play it. Now you're telling me you're going to turn it into Fortnite. It's a no from me. If people start building walls and buildings in the middle of an open field, I'm uninstalling and I want my money back. I pre-ordered this game before I could even play it. If you turn it in to emoting Fortnite, I'm out. So help me. Aiming to reduce the role of luck in endgame circles on the aging map. Secret rooms are also coming to Miramar, while Rondo will receive looting and movement flow operations. Reshape the battlefield by creating cover in open areas, aiming to reduce the role of luck in endgame circles on the aging map. That's the whole point of the game. That's the whole point of the game, is you have to use your brain and not get caught out in the place you shouldn't be. It's called planning ahead. But people are too split attention ADHD that they can't focus and go, you know what? I need to plan ahead. I need to get into cover. I need to get on this mountain. I need to get this. I need to start a fight here so that I can take the high ground. I need to start a fight here so that I can get in this building. They're too lazy. So, they're turning it into Fortnite. It's over. It's over. I thought this was going to be good news. I thought this was going to be introducing fun things, but they're just turning PUBG into Fortnite. I'm not a fan. I bought this game for the partial realism, the fact that it's an adult game. You got to plan ahead. You have to be mature. You have to use tactics. Actually thinking before you just run around and build a skyscraper right in front of your eyes. You can't do that. And that's what's the fun about the games. You got to plan. You have to use your brain. You have to critically think and not just shoot everything in and out. Okay. All right. Goodbye, PUBG. It was nice knowing you. Moving on to some interesting ones. We'll save this one for last. I don't know what this is, but I was just clicking out on this perplexity thing. Now, I don't condone any AI yet. Grok is the leader of them because it's the least woke and it's seems to be the most truthful. I have seen, oh my goodness gracious, Gemini, Claude, and ChatGPT will gaslight you. Oh my goodness. And they'll tell you just false information. Truth matters, folks. So I don't know what this is. This is like the version before I would have, like, what is this, 98? I don't know if I had Windows 99 or Windows 98, but man, what is this? It allows you to simulate, so Windows 3.1. I don't know what this does, but this is like, it feels pretty retro. You got to double click and everything. Ask me anything. What on earth is Windows 3.1? And where is that generation relative to Windows? Not Vista. What was the good one? Windows 7 was great. It wasn't Vista. Windows. What was between Windows 99? I don't remember. Was it Vista? I don't think it was Vista. Let's see what happens when I click this Ask button. This retro internet. This retro internet on this retro computer. Oh, wow, that's cool. Oh, my goodness. I feel like I went back in time. You know, dating myself a little bit. You used to have to connect to the internet on your phone line. Windows 3.1 was in 1992, does that say? Windows, I can't even read that. 9S is 96. Windows 98, 99. Windows XP, there's the one. Windows XP. 2001. Windows Vista 2007. Wow, this is super cool. I mean, this is really cool. Can you show me what the desktop looked like in Windows 98? Let's see if you can do it. Let's see if old school internet and look at the loading even. That's pretty cool. It's got even like the same. Now, I think that loading indicator was not from 98. I think it was from XP, if I remember correctly. That's how my computer right now. Oh, yeah. Recycle bin and export. Use the present taskbar at bottom. Visual style, key factors. Yeah. That was what I grew up on, Windows 98. Man, that's cool. That's really cool. But this one... Default background, teal turquoise color. Icons had a more colorful 3D look than Windows 3.1. Windows had a gray tile. Can I go back? This is cool. Oh, Windows 3.1 simulator. Man, that's cool. Now, I have another throwback machine here, which is... I don't know what this is. Okay? We'll hit full screen for immersion. I don't know what this is. This is something I was just clicking around on Perplexity, and they have all these like things that they've created with the AI coded. So the space race. Pardon me, 1 second. Let me just get my drink here. My brain. The space race. I'm a big space guy. I just did something, went to an event, and it was like a 3D thing, and they had like all this, what is it called? Those goggles you put on. Anyways, they had a spaceship in this production, and I was the coolest looking spaceship. I used to always do that with Legos. Watching Musk send rockets into outer space has just been the coolest thing for me. I'm a big fan. So, the space race, a story of rivalry, courage, and discovery, 57 through 75. Scroll horizontally to explore the timeline. Begin the journey. Okay, Sputnik. I've heard of it. I actually know that name. Sorry, 1 second. Sputnik 2 and Laika, first living creature in orbit. Sputnik 1, first artificial satellite launched the space age. October 4th in 1957. Why is there not a photo? It's glitched. Okay, so not the greatest. Sputnik 2, they sent a dog. Sputnik 2 became the first spacecraft to carry a living creature into orbit. While Leica tragically did not survive the mission, the flight proved that living organisms could tolerate the conditions of spaceflight. Tragic. This looks like a German Shepherd. Explorer 1, first U.S. satellite, discovers Venus. America's first satellite, built by Jet Propulsion Laboratory under James Van Allen, discovered radiation belts surrounding Earth that now bear his name. Oh, Van Allen radiation belt. I feel like I've heard of that. It's a scientific triumph that showed the U.S. could compete in space. Okay, and then NASA was founded. Luna 2, first spacecraft to reach the moon. Okay. Man, we're moving. Oh, how quickly are we moving? From 1957, it took 2 years between. So we sent our first satellite in 1957, and 2 years later, we had a spacecraft reach the moon. Incredible. And then Luna 3, we have our first photos. And of course, this AI did not create this very well, so we can't see the photos. Netherlands disaster. Secret catastrophe kills 92. A secret. It was the U.S. I wonder if this was the Soviet Union. Yep. I was right. So USSR. October 24th, 1960. So it's 3 years into the space race. Netherlands disaster. In one of the deadliest space-related disasters in history, an R-16 ICBM exploded during rush pre-launch testing at Baikonur Cosmodrome. Marshal Mitrofan Netherlands and at least 92 others were killed. The Soviet government covered up the disaster for decades. What a surprise. Okay, and here we go. Vostok 1 Gagarin, first human in space, orbits Earth. Very cool. Very cool. Man, this goes on forever. I don't think we're going to cover the whole thing. I am a fan, but I mean, this is a lot of reading, and I don't know if people are tuning in for space stuff. Netherlands disaster, Mercury 3. Okay, USA. That's cool. I didn't even realize this. I noticed some names here, but it's divided from USA to the USSR. I wonder if it expands at all. No. Apollo Soyuz. Oh, that's cool. Joint. Very cool. So here we go. We have Apollo 11. Gemini 4, first US EVA. So here's the first human in space. So just after the disaster, the USSR got the first human. So they got the first satellite and they got the first human. USSR, not great to its people, but they were doing all right in the science department. You're not allowed to talk about certain things at home, but we'll send people to space. That's the USSR for you. Yuri Gagarin became the first human to journey into outer space and orbit the Earth aboard Vostok 1. The 108-minute flight made Gagarin an international... Gagarin? It's a hard name. Yuri Gagarin. Gagarin. I don't know. An international hero and gave the Soviet Union dramatically in the space race. He ejected from the capsule and parachuted to Earth. Can you imagine being the first guy? Can you imagine being the first guy to eject from a man-made object and descend to Earth? Oh my goodness. Being a kid, when I was like on a swing or like climbing a tree, if I looked up, I was terrified. So it's like, what if like something goes wrong and like gravity messes up? I'm just going to float off into the ether and die. I'm going to slowly suffocate and get cold. I don't know if hypothermia or oxygen will get me first. This guy went up into space. You know what? He just went up there. He just went up farther than any man had ever done before. And then descended back to Earth in a parachute. Gagarin was a Pioneer. That's sweet. Okay, so what are these here? Gemini 3, 2-man spacecraft, or SpaceX, walk in space. Okay, so the first spacewalk was Gemini 4. Very cool, 1965. Okay, Apollo 7. Apollo 1 fire. A launch pad fire. Yeah, disaster. Yeah, I've heard of this. Apollo 1 fire. During a routine launch rehearsal test, an electric spark ignited pure oxygen atmosphere inside Apollo 1 command module. Astronauts Gus Grissom, Ed White, and Roger Chaffee were killed within seconds. The tragedy led to complete redesign of the Apollo spacecraft, ultimately making it safer. Was that the infamous latch thing? Where it was like the latch was, you know, it got stuck because they were supposed to be able to open it back up. They were supposed to be able to open it back up, and maybe that was a later event. Apollo 13 is an incredible movie if you get the chance. I still think about that movie time to time. Really good. They had an issue and they didn't get to land. But the first moon landing here, just before Apollo 13, Apollo 11, Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin landed the Eagle lunar module on the Sea of Tranquility, while Michael Collins ordered above in the command module. Armstrong's first step in a lunar surface was watched by an estimated 600 million people worldwide. They spent 2 hours, 31 minutes on the surface, collected samples, planted a flag, and returned to Earth safely. Incredible. Incredible. Man, can you imagine? I mean, we have such great images now, especially with SpaceX doing all this stuff. But could you imagine being the first guy just looking like you're standing on a moon, which is just a giant pile of dust and rock. And you look up or out, and way out there, like where the sunset would be, that's home. Man, the courage. I am fascinated by space exploration, but I would never do it. I don't think I could psychologically handle that. There wasn't that much between you and the vacuum of space that would literally tear your eyeballs out of your eye sockets. And they did it with no way of knowing how it's going to go. They sent a dog up and a couple humans into space a couple times, and they were like, all right, good enough. Send them to the moon. Man, just imagine you're there and you look out and you know, you get to float almost. There's still gravity. There's just not a lot of it. And you look out at the horizon, and that speck way over there is your home. Oh, man. And if you turn around, it's just infinite nothingness for a very, very, very long time until there's like a star or some space dust. Man, just insane. Really cool. Really cool. Let's read this climax here. The Apollo-Soyuz test project saw American astronauts and Soviet astronauts dock their spacecraft in orbit and shake hands through the connecting hatch. I did not know about this. Commander Tom Stafford and Commander Alexei Leonov exchanged the first international handshake in space. The mission symbolically ended the space race and paved the way for future cooperation, ultimately leading to the International Space Station. What a cool event as well. How cool is that? Would this have been at the height of the Cold War as well? What year was this? 75? I think the Cold War started shortly thereafter. That was the 80s, right? Where each side wasn't... So they shook hands, and then they both went back to work researching missiles to shoot at each other and nuclear warheads to shoot at each other. That's humans for you. All right. Let's move on. What if? Oh, that's cool. There's like a lever for what if. That's kind of cool. Well, build your own. So what does this do? Computer works for you. Yeah, I clicked around on this. There's a lot of use cases for programming stuff. It's pretty neat. Differential equations. All right. We're done with the news segment for today. Let's go to some League of Legends. And by League of Legends, I don't mean League of Legends. We're playing Ark. I would rather not play League of Legends. It's fun. It's fun. But it's like cancer. You know, League of Legends is like cancer. It gets into your system. You try and fight it off. The stress pulls your hair out. You end up single, bald, and dead. I don't know. Something like that. Open Arc Raiders. All right, I'm going to end it there for my YouTube people. I want to thank you for joining. I'm going to continue to stream on Twitch and Kick. I appreciate you being here. Yeah, we stream live pretty regularly. We missed a week there. I'm back. But we're going to cover some news items. I'd love to cover some UFC stuff, but I don't want to bore people. That's kind of what my main focus priority is right now, is working on these documentaries. And actually, my next documentary is not on a UFC fighter. But if you like documentaries, I have linked them in my Twitch. They should be accessible as well on Captain Niwa, which is my YouTube channel that this will be posted on. This is going live to. And it will be live for watch after, which I'm pleasantly surprised to see that people watch this stuff after it's posted. Normally you think live stream, people aren't going to click it after the fact, but they do on YouTube, and I appreciate that. I do the same thing. I enjoy my most watched show is a show that goes live on YouTube, and I watch the rerun of it because I can't catch it live. Most people can't. So I appreciate you watching this. If you can't find the documentaries from my Captain Niwa YouTube page, it's youtube.com/@ Owen Lee Productions. @ Owen Lee Productions. I am pouring a lot of effort into those. So from the bottom of my heart, hope you enjoy them. YouTube,